Good morning, fellow badasses. I trust that you are sensational on this very lovely, awesome Tuesday morning. Gotta give you a word of warning. I'm a little hopped up on caffeine. It's really hilarious. I had our world famous coffee coaching with the amazing Jeremy and Kim this morning, and consequently, we've just like blown the lid off all of the things and all of the stuff, and I'm just very excited about life, as we all very much should be, in my very humble opinion. So what's really funny, more funny than anything, is that I actually, excuse me, good grief, I actually put the comment in here today being, it's not about the money, I just want to make the world dance. Not a very good singer. You know that song, right? It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. That song. That's what I had in my head this morning as I was coming in to talk to you. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is the thing that I have been thinking about this morning, journaling on this morning, and basically just having a bit of fun with. And that is this thinking around why we do what it is that we do. And this became really, really highlighted again over the weekend. So on Friday and Saturday, I ran my favorite event to run at the moment, which was Visible Live. And it's 2 days where I myself and a group of badasses, I pull these amazing ideas for content, your intellectual property out of your brain, help you put into a really cool framework that you can use for marketing, for your book, for courses, for events, for anything that you could possibly want to do in regards to your intellectual property and your positioning over the next 1.5 to 2 years. So it's so much fun. But what was really a great reminder was I asked the question, and what I've been journaling about today is, well, you know, we all have these goals, and I'm sure that you're the same. We all have these goals to make a lot of money, right? Now, we've got to get past our own shit when it comes to money. There is nothing more fascinating to me than the money blocks, people being like, oh, well, you know what, I'm not doing this for the money. We are doing it for the money. We are in business to do it for the money. Now, it's what we then do with that money that is kind of like the difference, the differentiator. So what I mean is, if you were not worried about money, you would go and work for somebody else, right? If it was just about doing the thing that you do, then you probably wouldn't have your own business. The reason that we have our own businesses is to make money, to be financially independent, to create freedom and choice in our life. So if we think about the main motivators, I know for me, the reason that I left corporate was because I was hitting this, like the income barrier and the freedom barrier. Hi, Tracy. So a bit of a freedom barrier. Like I didn't want to be restricted with when we went on holidays. I've got 3 kids. I wanted to be able to go and do what I wanted to be able to do with them, when I wanted to be able to do it, when I wanted to do it with them, without having to submit a leave application and trying to fit in with everybody else's agenda, wants, and needs. So a big part of me building this business is to create the freedom for me to be able to do that. Now, money is the vehicle, or the thing that I use to be able to do that. But what's really curious, and we all talked about this on Friday in Visible Live, it's like, well, what is it that you ultimately really, really want? So if you were to fast forward, say 12, 18 months, 2 years, 5 years, hello, Hoya, 5 years, 10 years in the future, and everything has worked out as you wanted it to. And you're at an event and you're being honored for the work that you've done, for the lives that you've changed. Hi, Joanne. For the people that you've been able to influence and impact and have a really profound influence in their life. And somebody's on stage talking about you, introducing you, honoring you. What are they saying? Another activity that I've done in the past, and we didn't do this on Friday, is that if you're observing your own funeral or your own celebration of life, what is it that people are saying about you after you've gone? and how you've had this impact on them and things like that. And what it brought up was that people weren't saying on that stage, they won't say, X person, like we'll say, Val has earned $5 million in the last 12 months. That was not what was said, right? It wasn't about how much money you've made. It wasn't about how many courses you put out there. It was about the number of lives that you were able to impact in the way that you were able to impact them. You know, our kids were talking about how much choice and freedom they've got in their life because of you being so incredibly brave and getting out there and trying and never giving up and being so incredibly committed to getting yourself out there, growing yourself and helping other people. The most beautiful things that came out were people who wanted to create charities, people who wanted to do things for orphans, for people who were stuck in really shitty situations, animals that were stuck in shitty situations or that just really needed help. For me personally, some of you may not know this, I've got domestic violence in my own personal history going back, not my husband, but years and years and years and years and years ago. And the thing that I really want to do and I've wanted to do for years and years and years is to use the money that I make and create in the world to go and help women who have been stuck and or who have got out and things like that, to be able to basically rewrite and recreate their own futures. And there's various different ways that I want to be able to do that. So in order for me to be able to have the impact on those people, I need to make money, right? So for me, it's like a lot of people, if we ask them, how much money do you want to make? It's like, just enough to be able to do what I want to be able to do. So the thing that I very strongly encourage you to do is actually sit down and go, well, am I okay with making millions of dollars? Because lots of people say, I don't want to be greedy. But that's a money block, right? You don't have to, if you're making a lot of money, it's not about you being greedy. You are not the kind of person to do a bait and switch. You're not the kind of person who is going to sell something and then not deliver on what you've sold, right? Because you wouldn't even be in my world if that was who you are. You're not even going to do that. So you get these people in, you help them, you transform them, you get paid really, really well for it. What are you then going to do with that money? Now, the first thing that you're going to do, if you're smart, is you're going to look after your own financial household first and foremost, right? Because if you can't look after your own financial household first, then it makes it very hard for you to give freely. It's a little bit like your own energy. If you're not looking after your energy first and foremost for yourself, if you're not filling up your own cup first, it makes it really hard for you to be energetically generous with the other people that you really want to be able to help. So you've got to look after your financial household first. So the thing that you need to do is this. Actually work out and literally do your numbers. How much money, hey Carmen, how much money do you need to bring in to your business, your life, whatever it is, in order for you to break even? Basically, you need to know your break even numbers. If you don't know your break even numbers, then you're running the risk of not being profitable. And it's just, you don't want to ignore money, right? Money is an energy. You can't ignore it. So how much money do you need to come in order for you to be able to break even? Then go and have a look at, all right, that's great. If you were to then go and take a look at how much money you need to bring in for you to live your ideal life. Good morning, Cherie. So your ideal life includes the support that you need, the mentorship. Every person, if every person, I don't really care what line of work you're in, what kind of business you're in. I think everybody should have a mentor or a coach who is helping them to step up and get to that next level in their life, their business, their relationship, their love, their money, whatever it happens to be. So look at that in an ideal world. Then go and have a look at perhaps the house that you want to live in, the domestic support that you need, how much your living expenses are going to be in order for you to be able to live your ideal life. In there as well, put in there how much money you're either contributing to the causes that are important to you, or how much time you're needing, and therefore how much money that equates to the time that you can be doing to really help and support those causes. What this does is it shows you very clearly where you're at right now, where you want to be, and what the financial gap is. So let's say your break-even numbers are $6,000 a month, right? And that covers your advertising, the cost of opening your virtual doors in terms of your website, your hosting, your advertising, perhaps your tax. Don't forget about your tax. The online systems that you're using, you've got to have all of those basically in your break-even budget. Then you go, all right, cool, that's great. Oh, and pay yourself a wage. Please pay yourself a wage. How much does that equate to in there? So what's your break-even? And then go and have a look at, in an ideal world, how much money you need. You need to allow for marketing. You need to allow for all of those things that I said to you before. Then you can go, okay, so let's say that in an ideal world, you need to make 20 grand a month in order for you to be able to do everything that you need to be able to do and want to do. Now, 20 grand a month might seem, when you're looking at your break even being 6 grand, and the new break even to hit everything that you want is 20, 14 grand might feel like it's a big stretch. Depending on what you're selling, that might not actually be a huge stretch. If you can create something, and every one of you can create something for, say, $2,000, right? 2 grand as an average spend per client, per person, $2,000. That's only 7 people a month that you need to find to invest $2,000 to learn from you, buy from you, coach with you, mentor with you, whatever it is. 7 new people, right? That's not even 2 new people a week. Then you say, all right, well, like that's not much of a gap now that you actually need to close. It makes it feel doable. Did you know that if you can get 83 people, only 83 people, investing $6,000 ahead with you over the course of a year, you will make $500,000. You'll make $500,000. Now, 6 grand a year is only $500 a month. That is not much money for people to invest over a year, each of them, and it's not very many people, to be able for you to have a really solid, financially independent business. I think $500,000, anybody with $500,000 a year, you can be doing a lot of good in the world, a lot of things in the world. What's really interesting is if you go, all right, well, yeah, I can make $500,000. That's awesome. That's 83 people a year that you are having a profound and awesome impact on. Think about the ripple effect that has in each of their worlds. Also, think about the impact that that's having in your world. With $500,000 a year, let's say half of that goes out in expenses. You've got 250 grand that you've got available to you. Take out your marketing, take out everything else. Let's say that that's 10 grand a month that you've got left over to play with, right? What could you be doing with that money? Because that money, then what you've got is you've got choice. You can then contribute to the charities that you want to contribute to rather. You could create a whole charity and do things like that. There are so many things that you could now do, so many choices that you can do. But people get all caught up in, oh, like that's, I could never do that. I could never do that. Or that's too much money, or I'm greedy, or it's being selfish, or whatever. You've got to let that go. So one of the things that I want you to do, as well as doing this, what's my break-even amount and what's your ideal money that you need, what I want you to sit down and actually have a think about is what are the beliefs that you have as if you're making $500,000 a year, what are the beliefs that aren't supporting you to get you to that amount of money? So I'm going to have to work harder. Well, maybe not. I can't possibly be rich. I won't have any friends. Whatever the beliefs are rattling around, assume that you're making that money. What do you believe to be true? because money's a really awesome mirror when you look at the impact that it has around the rest of our life. So one of the things that I used to believe, and I don't anymore, what I used to believe was that in order for me to make the money that I want, I have to work really, really hard. Now, one person's view of working really hard is somebody else's view of not working hard at all, right? Some people equate working hard to like literally like being a laborer. That to me is really hard work. And I'm like, I don't want to have to be laboring and digging ditches and stuff like that. Whereas this to me is not hard work. This is really easy because it's in my jam, I'm in my flow. I don't have to work hard to make money. I don't have to work hard at inspiring people. I don't have to work hard at having a big impact with people. So what about you? What stuff's going on for you that you need to let go of in order for you to be able to really kick up to that next financial thing, that next financial bracket? And the other thing that I want you to think about is, what is that money when you're making that money, as if you're making that money, what are you doing in the world? How are you contributing to the world? And is that it might not be around creating charities or giving money away in that sense. It might be setting your kids up. It might be creating a really awesome financial portfolio that then means that they don't have to worry about money when they get older. It might be about giving them a bit of a leg up. I don't know. What is it for you? But the thing is this, it's not usually the money that people are, I mean, it's a big part of it, but it's not the money that is the thing that makes people dig deep and keep going, because it's about what the meaning attached to it is. It's about what we're going to do with that money. And for some people, it's about buying luxury items because it makes them feel good. For some people, it's about going and giving. For some people, it's about setting up their kids. It could be anything. But I encourage you to think about, all right, if I had all the money, and that's great, and I've got surplus amounts of money, I've got so much money, what am I going out there and doing with it? Because when you work out what that is and you've got that kind of emotional attachment, it makes it so much easier to go, all right, well, I'm going to dig deep now and I'm going to go off and do the things that I need to do and get out of my own freaking way, put myself out there, because it's not about me, it's about them. It's about creating that freedom for them. It's about creating the freedom for all of us to be able to do some really awesome good in the world. So that's really what I wanted to leave you with today in terms of this video. Now, a couple of things, just to change track for a second, a couple of really cool things that we've got going on coming up really soon. We have got the Radical 30-day 30-day Radical Implementation Challenge starting on the 1st of the month, which is really, really fun. That is you and me and a awesome group of badasses who are all geared towards getting more done in the next 30 days than we did in the last quarter. Now, just to be Captain Obvious for a second, we have actually got, we're coming into the last quarter of the year. I don't know how many of you have realized how quickly that's actually coming up. And it's a little bit scary even to me, because whilst this year has been really slow, it's also been really fast, and like the year is just like zooming through. And I know that typically the last 3 months of the year goes by in the blink of an eye. So the Radical Implementation Challenge is where we get on a group call at 6 a.m. Sydney time every day and work on, all right, what are you doing today? What do you need help with? What do you need accountability around? Have you got any questions you need answered? All right, off you go and get into your day. So we do that every morning at 6 a.m. and the link is in the comments there. If you're listening to the audio, it's nicolajmoras.com. The other thing that I'm really, really loving at the moment and seeing the results through is a 30-day program called Contentology. And what we do in that is like helping your audience get to see a bit more of who you are versus only your business content. It astonishes me all the time when I share photos, like I shared photos of my daughter's birthday yesterday, and I had the photo of her being all kind of coy with her birthday cake. It was really beautiful, and a ton of people are liking it, and I've had messages wishing her happy birthday, and it's just beautiful. And it reminds me of how important it is to share, for us to share as business owners, as leaders, as people who are being role models for our audience, how important it is to share a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. And that's what Contentology is all about. It's helping people to get to know you versus you just standing there lecturing to them about what it is that they need to do in their business or their life or their health or their mindset or whatever it happens to be. So Contentology is a 30-day prompting series. It is the best thing and the most fun ever. Starts on the first of the month. It's only $97, and for the whole month you get a prompt every day so that you can just go, okay, cool, we're going to talk about water today, for instance, and you'll go and share something about you, about water, or it might be about what's in your handbag, or it might be something that they don't know, and you'll just go and you'll write something and share something. Now, the payoff for doing this kind of thing is that you've got more engagement. People have made sales without even meaning to sell stuff. So the flow-on effect, because you're not out there going like, I am the best person in the world, you should totally buy from me. You're actually sharing behind the scenes, and people feel like they can get to know you. And I think it's so important that in a world where people's bullshit detectors are so finely tuned and, you know, they're looking for reasons to distrust you, that we can say, look, you know what, here's a bit of an insight into my life. Here's a bit of an insight into my world outside of only the business stuff. So Contentology is a whole lot of fun, and you can see the link in there as well. For those of you listening on audio, it is nicolajmorass.com/Contentology, spelt how it sounds. And of course, you can find them on my website as well, which is nicolamorass.com.au. So if you've got questions about either of those things, please make sure you let me know. Otherwise, I am going to set you all free about your day. You know what you need to do in terms of getting really clear on the money stuff that we've been talking about. Another little prompt that I want to leave you with today is this. If you had $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever the amount of money is in your bank account that you feel like you would be financially free with, if you didn't need to think about money, and you could just do the things that you would love to do, what would that be? And for me, regardless of if I had millions of dollars or no money, the thing that I would be doing today, this very single day, is doing exactly the things that I would be doing. The only thing that would be different, although not in COVID world, the only thing that I would be doing different is I would be having stadiums of people booked out and delivering things in a much bigger way, because I wouldn't be worried or thinking about, well, I've got to pay out hundreds of thousands of dollars to rent out a freaking stadium, right? So, you know, if you think about what you would be doing, I would be doing that. I would have a foundation set up. I would have charity set up. I would be giving freely and generously to the causes and the things that are really important to me. But most of all, from my work, I would still be doing this. So you would be stuck with me, even if I had squillions of dollars in the bank, because this is what I feel like I'm absolutely here to do. So for you, what is it? What is it for you? Because if you can capture that, if you can work out what that is, then you're never going to feel this sense of kind of like hopelessness around, oh, well, things are not working, or people are not engaging, or whatever's going on. You just be like, right, this is what I'm here to do, and I'm just going to get out there and do it. And that creates an inner sense of certainty for you, and an inner sense of conviction that this is what I'm about, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to trust that everything else is just going to start flowing and work perfectly. So there you go, my friends. That is my little sermon for today. So on that note, I really encourage you to get out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it as if you've got squillions of dollars in the bank and you've got thousands of people watching you, learning from you, being inspired and being motivated by you, and you've just got to get out there and make that happen. So why? Because the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow, if not before. Bye.